A clean palette makes a clean painting. That might just be the best piece of advice I've ever received regarding workflow. In other words, your result will only be as clear as the decisions made to get there. Even though the statement directly applies to painting, we can abstract the lesson and apply it to any artistic endeavor, including developing a level or a look in Unreal Engine. Because we're using assets in our scene that have been imported from different projects, we don't have a unified overall style. Let's examine our scene's assets to determine their unique styles, and then talk about best practices for defining the style of a project. Let's take a look at the boy. He has an overall stylistic feel, primarily for a few reasons. The first is the treatment of the hair and the eyebrows, which feel modeled intentionally to look stylized and painted on to feel like brushstrokes rather than individual realistic strands of hair that you would expect to see in a photoreal style. This, combined with the subsurface values that we can see in his ears and eyes and nose, that make him feel as if he's slightly glowing. And then we have the lack of highly detailed ambient occlusion and normal map information around the nose and the eyes and the ears and the mouth that we would expect to see in a photoreal character. All of these decisions are pushing the overall aesthetic of the boy into a stylistic realm. If we juxtapose that with our mannequin, who has ambient occlusion and specularity and reflectivity that all feel very real, in combination with anatomical correctness, the result is a very photoreal aesthetic. Then, if we look at the environment, we see we have a very realistic lighting and texture setup, but the forms are modeled in a very low polygon fashion. If we select the floor, we can actually see the individual polygons as the environment has been optimized for performance. All of the details rely on the normal map information. The sooner you establish what style of a render you want, the clearer your decision making will be regarding modeling, texturing, and lighting. Best practice is to model all of the forms of the environment and the characters with the same shape language. In addition, the treatment of the textures and shaders should work to ground the characters into the environment and the overall style. Because we're working with assets from projects that have different styles, achieving a scene-wide style with the existing assets would be quite difficult. However, because these assets do have different styles, we'll be able to see how our stylized rendering effects will alter each uniquely styled actor independently.